Welcome dear students. Today we are going to see a new lesson in history, emergence of new kingdoms in North India. In this lesson we will learn about the kingdoms of Rajputs, their counterparts in North India. There are plenty of stories that speak of the valor, courage and chivalry, that is social code of the Rajputs. Rajput states formed a collective entity that was called Rajputana, that is a land of the Rajputs. Chittoor was prominent and had become the rallying point of all Rajput clans. Clans meaning a large family. In commemoration of the victory of Rana of Chittoor over Malwa, the Jayasthampa, the Tower of Victory, was built in Chittoor. The Pratiharas and the Palas had established their powerful kingdoms in western and in eastern India respectively. The decline of Pratihara kingdom led to the rise of Palas in Bengal and Chauhans in northwestern India. India's Islamic period might have begun in the immediate context of Arab conquest of Sindh in AD CE 712. Now we are going to see the origin of the Rajput. The word Rajput is derived from word Rajaputra, which means scion of the royal blood. After the death of Harsha in AD 647, various Rajput clans established kingdoms in different parts of the northern and central India. Their three principal houses are the Suryavanshi or the rays of the sun, the Chandravanshi, the rays of the moon, and the Agnikula or the rays of the fire god. Among those, Chandilas of Bandalkhan were prominent. There are 36 Rajput clans, and some of the important Rajput clans are the Pratiharas, the Chauhans, the Chalukyas and the Paramaras. First we are going to see the Pratiharas. The Pratiharas are the Gurjara Pratiharas, ruled from Gujarat in Jodhpur. In the 6th century AD, Harichandra laid the foundation of Gurjara dynasty. First of Nagapata was the first and prominent ruler. In the 8th century, he ruled over Bharuch and Jodhpur and extended his dominion upon Gwalior. He was succeeded by Vastaraja, who desired to dominate the whole of North India. Vastaraja's successors and Ramabhadra did not do anything impressively. Mihira or Bhoja, son of Ramabhadra, within a few years of his assertion in consolidating the power of the Pratiharas. After Bhoja, the Pratihara continued its full glory nearly a century. Having successfully resisted the Arabs, the Pratiharas turned their attention towards the east. They ruled over Rajasthan and Malwa. They also held Kanuj for some time. Pratiharas of Malwa, the Rashtrakutas of Deccan and the Palas of Bengal, as each one of them wanted to establish their supremacy over the fertile region of Kanuj. In the process, all the three powers were weakened. The Rajputs fought each other endlessly in the 11th and 12th centuries. Taking advantage of these, many local kings succeeded in making themselves very powerful. So the local kings considered themselves very powerful. Now we are going to see Palas. Gopala founded the Pala dynasty. He did not have any royal antecedents. He was elected by the people for his superior capabilities. During his reign from 750 to 770, Gopala laid the foundations for the greatness of this dynasty in Bengal. Next one is Dharmapala, son of Gopala, made the Pala kingdom a powerful force in northern and Indian politics. He led successful campaign against Kanauj. He was a great patron of Buddhism. He founded Vikramashila monastery, which became a great center of Buddhist learning. Dharmapala was succeeded by his son Devapala, a great patron of Buddhism. He gifted 5 villages to Buddhists. He also constructed many temples and monasteries. Next one is Mahipala. First of Mahipala was the most powerful ruler of the Pala dynasty. He is called the founder of the second Pala dynasty. The decline of Pratiharas gave the Palas an opportunity to take a leading role in North Indian affairs. He constructed and repaired a large number of religious buildings at Banaras, Sarnath and Nalanda. The Pala dynasty declined soon after the death of Mahipala and gave way to the Sena dynasty.